Hey everybody, the Captain here, and today is a unique video request. Someone paid me to watch and review two movies. It's The Dark Knight Returns. It's an animated movie. If you remember the Batman cartoons from the 90s as I did in college, it's the same artist that did this, same genre. But it is basically two movies back to back where Batman comes out of retirement. And it has some very many and deep, important, self-reflecting, philosophical issues. And the person that wanted me to do the review on this, he says, "Hey, do you want?" I'm like, "Okay, it's like 4 hours long. I bill out on $100 an hour." And I said, "Well, okay, I'll cut you a deal. I'll do a review." He wanted me to do a review, but it takes time to do that. So, like I said, you want to pay me to watch cartoons and do a review? I'll do that. But I think I'm going to up my price next time because it took it took 4 hours and I am now officially behind on everything. So anyway, I put together some notes and some rather thorough notes at that because it was that deep a review. And this is going to be, I don't think, a terribly long video, but let me read what he wanted specifically out of this so you have the context. "I saw the movies and have seen a stark difference in the way men acted, the way society was, and how you can overcome obstacles. There are many young boys and some young men with no guidance, but they see a movie like this and can be inspired and not know why. I want you to make a video saying what stuck out for you in the two movies and what young men could learn about responsibility, bravery, mastery, or whatever else you can that personally stuck with you." So I did take some notes here. So one, I'm going to ignore all the theatrical filmography type stuff that was like, I found weird or just kind of had a disagreement with. Like the Gotham Police Department are the worst shots ever in the history of any marksman. You can't even call him marksman, or Ronald Reagan looking like a zombie. But in any case, I'm going to focus more on the philosophical themes. And there's, what do I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 main running themes are going through this two movies. And then the ramifications or the morals or the lessons that individuals, men, but everyone can pull from it. The first one is agency and purpose. This is a very important and an overriding theme with pretty much all the main characters of the movie, but particularly Batman. It opens up where Bruce Wayne, he's retired. Batman's been gone 10 years, and then it's a car race, a Formula One car race. And it's Bruce Wayne, kind of middle-aged dude, racing cars. And he's pushing the envelope, he's redlining the car, and it's as if the guy has a death wish. And sure enough, he pushes the car too much, he almost gets in an accident, he ejects at the last moment, and he's unfazed by it because he really doesn't care. And unlike the Bats that we used to know, Bruce Wayne drinks alcohol now. And he has a conversation with Commissioner Gordon at some hoity-toity skyscraper restaurant, and they're just talking. You could just tell Bruce Wayne has no life in him. He's even more somber and dark speaking. And the playboy Bruce Wayne with all the girls, he's nowhere to be seen in this movie. He's just got empty eyes. So he is then befuddled, perplexed, beset upon by two things. One, constant reports of crime and injustice occurring in Gotham City, and then flashbacks to when his parents were killed. Inevitably, no matter how hard he tries, no matter how much he tries to inundate with his brain with alcohol, he cannot enjoy the decline. He just can't do retirement, which is a very common theme among a lot of men who go into retirement after a long, successful career and they get depressed. There's a jump in suicide, and that's a very real phenomenon in the real world, not just cartoons. And so, what you could pull from this is that if you're a guy, if you have even the slightest bit of morality and desire to be a productive citizen, you cannot exist without agency or purpose. You can, but you will be an automaton. You will be a zombie. It'll be torture. And I have ran into this where, I really don't have a job. I have this. This is my job, and it's great. You think it's great, and no, you got to find something to do with your life. So you need purpose. You need agency. Every man does. Now, Bruce Wayne, obviously, the only thing he's known since he was a trust fund baby, and the only real productive thing he's ever done with his life is to be Batman. So he goes back to being Batman, starts cleaning up the town. A lot like The Incredibles. If you remember seeing The Incredibles, Mr. Incredible, he the only time he's happy is when he's fighting crime. And that's identical to what's happening here. Now, an interesting thing, the second thing that occurs, it's not a large thing, but it does play a vital role, and that is an element of fatism, specifically your childhood. And Bruce Wayne, with his flashbacks, remembers his parents getting killed. Kind of a big deal. And no matter how much you try and fight it, and you know me, I'm a very independent-minded individual, liberty, do whatever you want, run around, plant flags, conquer countries, according to Eddie Izzard. I'm not much of one to believe in fatism, and I don't. I believe you set your own path. The problem is you are a product or a child of your childhood. The adult is the child of his childhood or whatever, all right? And whatever you experienced in childhood, whatever you've experienced in your past is what has made you today. And that does cast an element of fate, or casts you into a certain amount of cast. Like, for example, I don't care if I make $1 billion, I will always fear that it will be taken away. I will not spend a lot of money. I could have $1 billion in cash, and you know what? I think the fanciest car I will ever buy would be a Ford GT Shelby Mustang, and that I would even have guilt to this day. I can't change it. I tried to, like, hey, you can relax on it. No, can't change it. If you're brought up poor, you're going to wonder where that next meal is. I mean, you know these people, like, they're millionaires, but they get by on, like, Social Security, and they just hoard all their money, and they don't spend it, Great Depression type people. Men and women who have gone, or boys and girls who went through horribly abusive families or divorced parents or whatever, they're much more reluctant to get married. They're much more reluctant to have children. So whatever it is that your childhood has been, good or bad, it could be good, whatever it is. And you cannot escape that. It has formed your brain. Your brain has adapted, grown up, formed. Neurons have coalesced around those experiences, and you cannot deny it. So like agency and purpose in men, you cannot deny that. You cannot deny your past. Now, you can make changes for it in the future, but you have to realize that there's an element of mold you must follow. And it takes a while to break that mold. It can be done. It takes a lot of effort and energy, and sometimes it can't be done. So you're best accepting those limitations. And that's what Bruce Wayne's ended up doing. He just can't abide by the fact that there are people getting away with murder. And it's more painful for him. Dude gets fucked up. Dude gets more fucked up than John McClane and all the diehards combined. And that's less pain. He gets shot, he gets stabbed. By the way, when the fuck does he wear armor? Dude should just fucking wear body armor. But anyway, dude gets stabbed, shot, totally gets fucked up. That's less painful to Batman than sitting there doing nothing. Just racing cars or whatever fun shit he can do. Now, you take those two previous things, the element of childhood fate or whatever, and agency, and now you apply it to villains. This is the third thing. The third general overall theme. Bruce Wayne, Batman, good. Joker, and then the mutants, which is this gang that is in the movie, are bad. But it's still the same thing. They still have to operate by these same two principles. Whether you're good or bad, typically if you're a guy, you need agency and purpose. Now, the mutants present a very interesting thing that you see in the real world today, and that is men have energy. We make the world go around. We are the reason we have electricity. We are the reason that we have the standards of living that we do. We are also the most capable of destruction and war, and because we have that energy. And whether society, it's up to society. What kind of society, what kind of infrastructure, social institutions, legal institutions, educational institutions, are we going to set up to channel men's energies towards good or bad? It's going to go somewhere. It is. Men's energy will go somewhere. And if you do not have enough opportunity for good, productive uses, it will go to bad. And in this case, in the movie, it's the mutants, but in the real world, we see it here. ISIS, Al-Qaeda, young men that want to join some kind of crusade. Look at my video, Crusaderism. It's very important. Also very evil. You can see people going into going green, feminism, socialism, some political ideology, religion in general, where it's like, Jesus will save you and you burn in hell the rest of you, that type of people, though that's not quite as damaging as blowing up people and flying planes into buildings. Or individuals who have ego complexes, like the Columbine shooters, Anders Breivik, who went up and shot up all those people on that island in Norway, and then Elliot Rodgers more recently. Whatever it is, men need some kind of outlet, and they need some kind of agency and purpose for this energy. If they can't get it through productive means and playing by the rules, they will go and destroy society, or at least, take up a crusade or a cause, so that they can feel like they've achieved something in their life. So it's a huge testament as to whether or not, Chicago, Detroit's a perfect example. Okay, well, have you channeled these kids into going to become engineers or doctors, or have you just, woe is you, you're discriminated against? All right, well, now we got drug deals and wannabe gangbang thugs or whatever else like that. So that is a thing like that. Now, what's really interesting, though, that's a group of people, the mutants. The Joker, that gets wicked. The Joker is obviously a genius. Obviously had some issues in his childhood, not to get all Stefan Molyneux on you. But again, the man is a genius. And what's interesting is how the Joker comes back. The Joker is in a coma. He's just drooling. He's not conscious. You know what brings him back? News reports of the Batman. Guy needs agency. A man needs a purpose. And even though it may be sick and twisted, Joker's purpose, his obsession, was the Batman. And so he starts to twitch every time Batman is mentioned on the TV. And he comes to consciousness. The psychologists and the therapists are all excited because he's back, he's awake, and all that. But now that Batman is back, Joker has to go and stop him or lure him into a trap, and it's good. But in any case, again, the individual or the group, you could say the Anders Breiviks, the Columbine kids, the Elliot Rodgers, the dude that shot up Aurora, those are the Jokers. They are going to do something, and if they're really psychotic like the Joker is, they will go and do it. If they're just mind-numb robots and automatons and kind of your sheeple, they'll join a crusade or go green or follow Al Gore or join Al Qaeda. All one and the same. All right. Now, where it gets very interesting is so far we have been only talking about the good and the evil, Batman, and the Joker or the mutants or stuff like that. Well, these people do not interact in a vacuum. They interact within society, and this is the coliseum by which battle between these two occur. They're going to fight. They're going to, good and evil will seek each other out because that's what makes them exist. Good exists to stop evil. Evil exists to stop good. You could maybe say evil has a desire for power and control and true, genuine evil aims, but good just wants to stop evil. It has no aims beyond that. Regardless, the two need each other. I mean, they can exist evil can only exist unto itself. But good could exist unto its own, but it wouldn't really have anything to stop. So you could see why these two entities, these two psychologies, need each other. But the fact they are going to fight, but they have to fight within society. And here's where it's very interesting. Frank Miller, who wrote it, the man was brilliant. I think this was written in 1986. You see all the leftist socialist idiots and morons and archetypes and stereotypes that populate today's society in this movie. So you see, and I've written them down here. Here's what you will see in the movie. All right, you have young kids, like idealists who will trade in their education, who trade or put more emphasis on their education and their philosophy than they will experience and wisdom, either from themselves or their elders. You have social justice warriors in this that wax poetically about how evil Batman is because he's a vigilante. He's not, and then you have the psychologists and therapists about how the Joker and all these people, and Batman's a psychiatrist, and he's the real problem, and Joker is a victim, and no one's really responsible for their own actions, and let's just forgive. You have lawsuits and you have the desire for lawyers that don't give a damn about crime, morality, what's good, what's wrong. They just want money. And so you have protections of criminals, more protections than rights of criminals over the innocents. What else? The entertainment industry, they spoof that wonderfully. The entertainment industry will capitalize on anything that's evil, even if it does harm society, and it's pretty cool because everyone gets killed, and I won't mention it. I won't do too many spoilers here. But you see how the entertainment industry is just in it for the money, and they don't realize what they're doing, and essentially they free a criminal. You have non-profits coming in, these totally self-serving, hypocritical bullshit non-profits come in to capitalize on crime and other people's misery and victimhood. You have these pansified whites that are crippled by white guilt. White guilt is in there too. And then, of course, your sexual roles are reversed. You have these spineless, pathetic males. And then you have these masculine women that are just, just they're present. Now, obviously, the mutants are pretty masculine. But you definitely see. I like the old Bruce Wayne, where like he always had babes on his arm in the cartoon. There's always feminine, they're all dressed up and like Bruce, where are you going? Oh, I have to go. And that's all gone. It's modern day. It's 2014. And then you have politically correct politicians who are, well, I don't want to have any responsibility. We have to follow the law. So they all know that the Joker and the mutants are bad, and they kill way more people. Batman doesn't kill anybody. He beats up a fair amount of cops in this, and to protect himself because they're shooting at him. But all these things, all these leftist, socialist mental diseases that infect people, provide a huge handicap for the Batman or anyone who wants to be good. Not necessarily legal, but good. Okay. Now, the Joker and the leader of the mutants and other genuinely evil people use this handicap to their advantage. I mean, half the movie is the Bats getting shot at by the cops when he's trying to... So not only does he have to try and stop the Joker or the mutants, he's got to worry about, like, catching fire from the police, who are, once again, horrible shots. So, and it's akin to that today. You can't fight evil without becoming a criminal yourself, right? So if you're going to fight evil, if you're going to be good and you're going to fight evil, or dare to just stop it, or dare to like prevent it, or want to eliminate it so that you can go and continue living on your own life, you by default almost become a criminal. Like you hear about, God almighty, in California, heaven help you if you shoot someone in your own house. Then you might go to jail or whatever. I mean, even a guy here, like he killed 2 kids that broke into his place, and I think he went to jail. So you see that in the real day world here as well. Regardless, the point is society is so screwed up, so brainwashed, so delusioned with either purposeful leftist brainwashing or their own ego and probably, I'm moral, I don't believe that you should follow the law, and all that. If you're going to be good in today's society, it's a huge uphill fucking battle, right? So you got to kind of, it's like someone pinches your girlfriend's ass. If you pull out your gun and blast the fucker away, beat the fucking shit out of him. No, you can't do that. You got to learn to let go. Another guy, I read about this, Return of Kings. Sorry, this is annoying me. Return of Kings, he was black man. And some racist fuck came up to him and just started screaming, you fucking nigger, like being real fucking dickhead, 100% grade A, genuine racist asshole. I mean, and that black guy, young black man, had every right based on what that asshole said, beat the fucking shit out of him. What would have happened to him? Assault, right. See, and the whole point, this article in Return of Kings, or maybe it was the discussion board, I can't remember, was that the dude just shook his head and like, you gotta know not to do it. Girl hits you, don't hit her back. Remember the one time the girl here hit me because I told her I didn't want to sleep with her anymore. I just let her leave, called the cops up, said I was assaulted, I want the fucking record, you can't be manly and do it like John Wayne or Clint Eastwood. So that's the handicap that good people face today in the face of genuine evil. Evil has that legal advantage that if you dare try to stop them physically or put an end to them, you're now a criminal. So, and the Joker knows that, and the Joker in the thing sets that ultimate trap, and that's where the true evil and cowardice of a lot of these places are. You could see it again in the real world. Those assholes in Mogadishu who grabbed women and children and would use them as shields and shoot from underneath their legs. When we go, you got the people over in Gaza, although Saddam Hussein, I guess this is a tactic in the Middle East, they'll put ammunitions next to hospitals and schools and stuff like that. I mean, what was some people were having their kids themselves, like hanging them out of. I mean, it's horrible. It's just horrible, and that's where it's like, wow, what fucking evil, man. So that's what you get to face with it. And then finally, the final main theme is one of ultimate authority. Bruce Wayne, the Bats, he's causing too much of a kerfuffle. The cops can't stop him. He's a loose cannon vigilante, and society wants an end put to him. So much so that they got to get the president, who was Ronald Reagan at this time, to stop Batman. Well, how do you stop Batman? Well, you can send in the military or whatever else. We don't even know who Batman is. No one knows it's Bruce Wayne. Well, they bring in someone from now someone's going to yell at me. I don't know if it's DC or Marvel. Don't yell at me. They bring in Superman. So Superman comes in. And Superman, he's a good guy, and he has a chat with Bruce and say, look, you got to stop. They want me to stop you, and I don't want to hurt you. You're a good guy, but, for Christ's sake, just stop. And let the authorities handle it, blah, blah, blah. And Bruce, who now, Batman, he's perplexed. Like, no, I'm not going to stop. This is who I am. I tried to stop, can't do it. This is who I am. I'm doing what's moral and right, and I don't care what's legal. I mean, he does. He doesn't kill people, obviously. And then there's kind of like, all right, I have to come back. So it is the issue of authority is now trying to stop good. And it's the ultimate authority. You don't fuck with Superman. Superman can, he's Superman. So it inevitably comes down to a fight between authority and good. Batman versus Superman. And Batman bests Superman through some trickery, and of course, because you gotta, he gets an armored suit and all this other stuff. But Bruce Wayne, has morality. He doesn't want to kill Superman. He says, leave me alone. Just know that I beat you, and never come back here and let me do what I want. And then Superman makes a great point. He says, they're just going to send someone else. And that is the ultimate drawback, the ultimate end game for Bruce Wayne. It could be Superman. It's not Superman. It's not Ronald Reagan. It's society. Society, or at least a contingent of society, and in this particular case, a democratically elected government, so the majority of society, wants the individual to stop being good, wants the individual to stop being him or herself. So it doesn't matter. Send Superman, send Ronald Reagan, send a bouquet of flowers. It will never end. There will always be that resistance. So the point is, whether you live in a society, democratic or not, in a democracy, there's going to be people voting against you and trying to put up hurdles and stop you from being an independent individual. And if you live in a dictatorship, there's the government that's going to really put a quick end to it. And we're not all Batman running around with billions of dollars in bat gear and a bat tank and all this other cool stuff that he's got. So now, the ultimate lesson with the authority that you take from this is, and as a person who's typically on the good side, I'm going to read it because I wrote it. I want to make sure. But the ultimate lesson to get from society saying, stop it, we don't want this, right? Society doesn't deserve Batman, doesn't deserve good people when they put more emphasis on law, politics, ideology, religion than what is right and good. And that's, I don't think Frank Miller, I don't think the people who created Batman, I don't think if Batman existed himself, has taken it to that level saying, why the fuck am I doing this for all these ungrateful people? Right? And that's where, an issue of your childhood and your fate. Like, I've given up. I can actually enjoy the decline in this regard. I don't care. I enjoy seeing bad things happen now. I do. I enjoy seeing people in poverty when they vote left. I enjoy seeing liberal arts majors with $100,000 in debt suffer financially because they made stupid decisions and voted in a president and a Congress that has ruined their futures. I enjoy seeing hippie baby boomers at the age of 58, 59, 60, 61 saying, oh my God, I don't have enough for retirement, and they're going to have to work till they're dead. I enjoy seeing that because I've given up. Because there was at one time when I was younger, I tried to, hey, stop, hey, the housing crash, perfect example. All right, I enjoy seeing banks fire entire tranches of management and employees who got in my, and here's the reason I love it, is because when I tried to stop that, when I tried to do something good, all I got was yelled at, lectured at, berated, threatened with being terminated or fired, called a racist, called a bigot, called whatever, you know it. Whoever points out the emperor has no clothes, unless you're a kid, you're an evil... Society backlashes. And so now I caught enough flack, I've paid enough in prices, I've paid enough dearly that I no longer give a shit. I really don't. And so Bruce Wayne can't. And it's because, you know, he's got to be Batman. So, but anyway, that is a lesson for men, young men, and women too, but the request was for men, to realize is that if your good deeds are going to go punished, then fuck society. Society doesn't deserve those good deeds. And you know, for a lot of guys that's hard because you want to be good, you want to be productive, you want to have purpose and agency. Sometimes that's just not in the cards. Sometimes the Coliseum is against that and prohibits it. So you just got to go race cars or drink or do whatever it is that you do until you die. Sorry, it sounds so. Lessons for men. To directly address my client's request. Accept the fact you will not be able to live without agency or purpose. You will be alive, you'll be functioning. You can have great conversation, but without agency or purpose, in whatever capacity that is, you need a point and purpose in life. Otherwise, you will be miserable. You will be Bruce Wayne, racing cars, drinking, having nothing else to do in your life. Right? Two, you could choose whether your purpose or agency is used for good or evil. All right? I like to think you choose it for good. I like to think that maybe some of you have children, you'd like the world to be a better place, or if you don't have children, you would just not be such a misanthrope, but out of morality or just common sense, say, well, I'd rather have society be better than evil, or better than worse. Not to sound so Machiavellian, but for the individual man, the individual young man out there, without the worst of all worlds is having no agency or purpose. The next best thing you can do is have agency or purpose, but have it be evil. So like mafia, I guess, or I don't know. You join a religion. You join. I'm saying for your own personal psychology, not for humanity's sake. But like I got news for you. Lying around, those people in ISIS are happier because they have point and purpose, albeit evil, than they are just staying in their village, you know, picking up goat shit or whatever. Better than that, though, and what the ideal thing that you should be aiming for is to have agency and purpose that is good. All right? So that's my argument, but I'm just saying, at the bottom of the barrel are those guys, you know. In the Mideast, it's picking up goat shit. Here, it's basement dwelling trolls. I don't, or whatever. But one grade up is join a religion, become a religious fanatic. Join a political crusade. Your mind will be slightly better off. You'll be delusional, you'll be evil, but you'll be better off psychologically than you were just sitting there, you know, playing pickup sticks. But ideally, you have the moral courage, tenacity, and intelligence to say, I'm going to have purpose, and it's going to be good, and it's going to be in the face of resistance. Now, whichever path you go down, agency and purpose for good, agency and purpose for bad, there is going to be resistance. If you go down the bad thing, you're kind of, as people know, the law tries to stop you if you try to do bad things. The military will try to stop you if you try to do bad things. People will try to stop you. It doesn't have to be all military and guns and everything, but like you abuse your wife, she's going to probably stop you and leave. You treat your children like shit, they'll probably not visit you and they'll leave. Treat your students like shit, they'll give you bad reviews and they'll say fuck off when they graduate their senior year in high school. So you're going to get resistance going down the bad path. Sadly, though, you're going to get resistance even if you go down the good path because of many stupid and ignorant people. And that is the real achievement or accomplishment when you go down the good path and you have purpose and agency. It is not that you're trying to be good. It is not that you're actually doing something good for society and you have a point and purpose in life. The real accomplishment, the real achievement that I've witnessed, that I've seen, is that you do it in the face of ignorant people, idiotic people, the hatred of people, and the resistance of people. All these hurdles and blocks thrown up in your... It is hard to achieve anything of genuine, good merit and worth in this society. If you get too successful, you're an evil, rich, capitalist, greedy fuck. You set up a company, you employ people, they bitch and whine about the pay, and they don't show up on time. You go and join the military and you think you're fighting for freedom, and you have people say that you're a mass murderer and it's all for oil and all this other crap, and you're like, well, I thought I was protecting freedoms and helping spread democracy. No matter how, again, no good deed goes unpunished. And if you still continue to do good, in spite of all this ungrateful, idiotic, leftist, dumbass, ignorant, sometimes selfish, greedy resistance of the ignorant masses, not to mention the evil trying to stop you at the same time, too, that is really the Herculean effort. And, you see the bats doing this the entire time. So ultimately, the final lesson of this whole thing is, who do you want to be? Do you want to be the Batman? Do you want to be the Joker? Or do you want to be a nobody? The worst for your mental health is to be a nobody. The worst for society is to be the Joker. Evil, but with purpose. And just, dude, fucks up shit, man. You're like, oh, fuck. They actually made the Joker really bad. Not as comical as back in the 90s cartoon. This guy is a fucking sick fuck. It is awesome. I mean, like, he's real evil. Or you become the Batman, which is, you do good. Despite all facing the adversity and the challenges and the assholes and the ungratefulness and all that. You do it for yourself, and you coincidentally also do it for society. So, in any case, hopefully that was a good review. I strongly recommend the movie. It's very entertaining. It's very good. It gets a little, Superman. Ronald Reagan. There's some things where you can kind of like, really? Come on. But all in all, it is a very good, very lengthy movie. And if you had a video request or you want me to do a movie review, get prepared to shell out big bucks. I totally undercharged for this. Now that guy's going to feel guilty. No, we agreed. We agreed to the price. We agreed. But yeah, I'll do movie reviews, but it's coming in at $200 for the amount of time. Anyway, great movie for everybody to watch. But yes, there are my client was not wrong. There are definitely some good lessons. Young men, all men, can learn from this movie or these two movies, and I strongly recommend it. Toodles.